welcome to another episode of Jackson's Jolly History Walks. James here, and today we are going to be doing a Halloween special. A Halloween special with all the scary places in London. The bells of St Dunstan in the west is going off behind us, but the reason why we're here is, what do you know of Fleet Street, Zafir?
Royal Courts of Justice.
Royal Courts of Justice. What do you know of Fleet Street, Kiran? Sweeney Todd, and that is what we're talking about, because that building just there, 186 Fleet Street, is where Sweeney Todd was apparently where his barber shop was. And I'm going to take you through the alleyway to where Miss Lovett's pie shop was. Standing literally right outside 186 Fleet Street, I'm going to take you through this little alleyway because supposedly Mrs. Lovett's pie shop is meant to be down here, so we're going to go down here now. It's we're on our own down here. I like the name of the alleyway though, the Hen and Chicken Court. We're going to go down here. We're going to see what it looks like down here. So as you know, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, famously played by Johnny Depp, and if I'm correcting, I know her name. It's Helena Bonham. Thank you, Kiran. And yeah, it looks quite Sweeney Toddy around here, don't it? And this was all his barber shop apparently, and this is supposedly to be the pie shop. And a tunnel, when Todd killed his victims, he used to slit their throats with his razor, cut the chair, used to fall back and fall straight down the tunnel vent into the cellar of Miss Lovett's pie shop. And who fancies a finger pie? Or you, Zafir, you fancy even worse. You fancy a... I'm not even going to say it on the camera because it's too rude. But this legend of Sweeney Todd actually came from 1759, not the Victorian times like the film tells. And it's supposedly Sweeney Todd killed sailors. It was only sailors he killed. But it's all a London myth. And this is why we do this, to tell facts and fiction. And next stop is going to be the Blind Beggar of Bethnal Green and Whitechapel, because everyone will know these next two folks.
So I didn't get a chance to record this pub because this pub is actually really interesting and we just happened to come across of it. This is Ye Olde Cheshire Cheese, and this pub was rebuilt in 1667 after the Great Fire of London in 1666. The original pub was built in 1538, but as we went into the cellar, the gentleman that was taking us around kindly gave us a tour, and he said the cellar dates from a 13th century monastery. Many great people have drank in this pub before, including Charles Dickens, Dr. Johnson, and many more. And if you've ever heard of Polly Wants a Cracker, the parrot, she actually originates into the pub, which there's a taxidermied parrot above the bar, which we'll take you to show you. And the parrot is where the famous Polly the parrot comes from. I do recommend visiting the Ye Olde Cheshire Cheese because it is one of London's oldest pubs. Every reigning monarch has seen this pub in existence, and as I said, Charles Dickens has drank here and many other people. And the gentleman that was taking us around kindly showed us a menu from 1910, so over 100 years ago, which 1910 he's showing you now. And it's quite remarkable actually how much history actually survives in this pub. It's over 100 years old. But the best place to drink in the pub, I'd say, would be the cellar, as it's very original and you won't want to miss it. And that's Polly the parrot I was telling you about. It was quite a naughty parrot.
Second take, because my idiot of a cameraman was taking pictures instead of videos. We were standing outside the Blind Beggar in Whitechapel, and this pub became famous on the 9th of March 1966. Because if any of you have seen the film Legend, when Tom Hardy playing Ronnie Craig barges in there and shoots George Cornell at point blank range. Well, this is the pub. It happened on the 9th of March 1966, and we're going to take you to where George Cornell was sitting when the murder happened, and where the blood was, and where the bullet holes are. So we're going to take you into the pub now. So it was around here George Cornell was sitting when Ronnie Craig came into this pub on the 9th of March 1966 and pulled out a Luger and shot George Cornell at point blank range. You can see on the ceiling the black mark on the warning shot that was fired into the air, and there's a tile up here that was from the bullet itself. And this is what put Ronnie Craig into history as the most famous gangster of all time. In late August 1888, the start of the Autumn of Terror started here in Whitechapel. Where we're standing right now is where a police officer one night, he was on duty, and he came round the corner and he found the body of Mary Ann Nichols. And Mary Ann Nichols was actually the first victim of the famous serial killer Jack the Ripper. And this is where she supposedly died. There's a lot to cover on Jack the Ripper. We can't cover it all today. This is only a basic insight to what is to come with Jackson's Jolly History Walks. We're going to head over to the 10 Bells now, where some of his victims drank. So to conclude this video, we are standing outside here, the 10 Bells pub, in the centre of Whitechapel, because this is the pub where Annie Chapman and Mary Kelly were last seen drinking. Mary Kelly and Annie Chapman were both victims of Jack the Ripper, and Mary Kelly was last seen in there 1 hour before she was murdered by Jack the Ripper. But as I said, if I'd done Jack the Ripper all night, it would take us all night to film that and sort that out. So I'm going to leave that for another video. But I do thank you for joining me on this spooky history walk of London for this Halloween special. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram, Jackson's Jolly History Walks. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next video.